We got everything we need right here. Wine and burning chemistry. You and me alone. You and me alone. Inside of our embassy. Everything we need right here. Make me sing along. Sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got everything, moonlight on your naked skin. Summer's blind us to giving. Where you wanna go? Where you wanna go? Stars align onto your face. Pretty sweet, your sour taste. Make me sing along, sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got everything, sharing all your deepest dreams, wonder what they really mean, yeah. In the empty bottle lies all the answers. Write down all your memories, feel the things you wanna feel, yeah. In the empty bottle lies all the answers. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here.
Hello everyone, happy Monday. Sorry for the slow start. Hello everyone, happy Monday. Can everyone hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up or a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Hello everyone, hello mods. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you so much. Well, we're starting off strong today, 200 already in the chat. And thank you to, gosh, I'm going to try and say your name slowly first. Gagati Ramona, thank you so much. And I see you're from New Zealand. That's amazing. It's amazing to know that so many people are listening from all over the world. It just shows how global the squad is. Please also let me know if I've pronounced your name properly. If I haven't, please write it phonetically because I want to be able to say it properly. But thank you so much for your super chat and many thanks to you. Happy Monday if you're just joining us. Yes, Maggie, I cannot wait for the Invictus game to start in April. I will be covering as much of it as I can. Hello, Black Queen. Did everybody listen? I hope you did to the Sausage Squad podcast over the weekend. What an amazing podcast it was. I had to watch it on replay, but it was so good to hear Tina, Michelle, and I wasn't Hester Prynne on as well. I can't remember. There was someone else on, and it was just a really nice chat. Hello, Maggie. Hello, VC. Hello, Kay Castillo, Avery, Lydia's here, Ty's here, Rose is here, Beverly's here, Denise is here, Lynn's here, Shill's here. Hi, Annie. Hey, C-Mac, Kid and Beauty. Hi. I got a meeting, Sonia. No problem. Hello, Karen, Angela, Brenda, Patricia, Terry, and hey, Crystal J, Caesar Q. Hey. Alrighty, I think all of the usual suspects are here. Don't forget to thumbs up if you haven't already and hit that subscribe button. Let's see if we can get to 8,000 before the end of the month. I think that's a pretty realistic goal. So I'm pretty sure you've all seen by now. I did post it on the community tab, and everyone's been talking about it all weekend. The promo video for Invictus Games. I'm telling you, Harry and Meghan just keep surprising me with everything that they do. Wasn't expecting this. It's great to see Harry laughing, having a good time, and you can see that this is obviously in their house. This must be their main office room, because we saw this room when Meghan did her 40x40, and that bear picture in the background, I think that was in one of their living rooms as well. Seems to have moved into the office. But yeah, this is definitely the main office room, it seems like, where they do a lot of these Skype call things and recordings. So it's just great to see Harry having a laugh, practicing some greetings, and speaking to other people from the Invictus Games. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing Harry, hopefully seeing Meghan, and hopefully maybe even seeing the kids too, if they want to bring their children and make it a family affair. Obviously, Lily's still quite young, but Archie's a little bit older. And how amazing is it that Harry, as a man, has created this legacy that both Archie and Lily are going to continue, and that are going to serve these servicemen and women for a very long time to come. I think it is about time that we had a new major sporting event. And I know that Invictus isn't new, it's been around for a while, but it can take a while for these events to kind of become, I guess, part of our usual cycle of watching, the way something, say, the Olympics is or the World Cup is. And I do think that Invictus has the potential to go there, especially as events like the Olympics, their popularity is kind of waning. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what the Invictus Games has to bring. Yeah, Andrew, Harry is ready to break dance. And it's going to be quite interesting to see which royal reporters are going to try their luck and try and get access to Invictus. I don't think that any British reporters will be given press passes, but that doesn't mean that they won't actually be there or try and be on the ground. And just because they're not on the ground doesn't mean that they won't be taking whatever it is other reporters are reporting on, and obviously the pictures that come out, and writing articles about Harry and Meghan and the Invictus Games also. And you just know that they would rather be in The Hague than be with Kate, William, and the other members of the On Royal Mafia on their Caribbean tour. And so I'm also looking forward to seeing actually who ends up going with the other members of the On Royal Mafia on the Caribbean tour, and how the royal reporters cover it, because you know that they just want to focus on Harry and Meghan, because that's where the money is. Um, it's but some morons in England are angry that Prince Harry is not coming for his grandfather's memorial because of security, but going for the games, but nobody knows the arrangements he has with them. No leaks. Yeah, and I do believe that the outrage is just fake, it's phony. Um, but I'll get onto that in a second. Shield Stewart, Harry doesn't want the throne. He's making something of his own. Exactly. He's already got his own empire. Because that's what man is meant to do. He's meant to build his own instead of taking handouts from the British taxpayer. And that's what Harry's always wanted. He's always wanted his own. And they wouldn't let him have it because they have to have control over everybody in the cult known as the Unroyal Mafia. Yes, Elita, I hope that Harry bans all reporters as well. Okay. And on that, what was I going to mention next? Yes, on that, the Queen actually isn't going to Philip's memorial either. So a statement was put out by the Sussex spokespeople that Prince Harry will not be will not be returning to the UK for the service of Thanksgiving for the life of Prince Philip on March 29th. He does, however, hope to visit the Queen as soon as possible. So he's letting it be known that he wants to still see Betty, but he won't be attending the memorial. And yes, as somebody mentioned earlier, there were many press rats who made a big kahoo-ha out of it. I don't know why they're so offended over somebody else's memorial service and somebody else's family. I really don't think that the average British person right now who is not part of the royal cult, who's struggling to pay their energy bills and keep up with food prices, really cares that Harry is not going to a memorial that the British taxpayer is going to have to pay for anyway. And it now seems like the Queen may miss the service also, as she apparently rules out using a wheelchair. Now, I find this to be just quite insulting to people of disability or people who do have to use a wheelchair. There isn't anything shameful about using a wheelchair, and that's kind of how this comes across. Like they're saying, she rules out using a wheelchair as if it's a bad thing, as if it's some kind of sign of weakness. When someone's elderly or has some kind of disability, of course they're going to use a wheelchair. And for goodness sake, the Queen's grandson literally heads Invictus Games. So where is this shame around using a wheelchair? Where is that coming from, and why is that shameful? Once again, it just speaks for the tone deafness of these people. But if she can't attend Philip's memorial, all of that fake outrage would just be for nothing. I mean, it's unnecessary anyway, but how are you going to be outraged that Harry isn't coming if the Queen isn't coming to her own husband's memorial? And I always expected that this memorial was just another way of trying to drag Harry back, because they already had the funeral. And let's not forget, the British public let it be known how they felt about the coverage of Philip's passing. Something like, what was it, 40,000 complaints? Can you imagine that many people complaining about one thing? I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else in my lifetime that I've heard of that many people actually launched formal complaints. And I'm not even talking about yelling about it on social media, actually writing a complaint through the complaints procedure to the BBC. I mean, people really let it be known how they felt. Yeah, Andreen, they wanted Harry to be irrelevant. Now they're crying for him. Lisa, are they going to have a memorial every single year asking for a friend? They're going to have a memorial for the memorial for the memorial. Anything to try and get Harry back. Yes, Hidden Beauty, Prince Harry is the man. He has shown the world that he is up to task of carrying on his mother's legacy and caring for the less fortunate, as a king should, unlike some people we know. Yes, the world now sees that William is the stupid one, not Harry. And that was always the plan, wasn't it? To paint Harry as the rogue, red-headed prince against the far more statesmanly and controlled William. Okay, and on that, it's also been interesting to see the double standard, as usual, of how Harry and Meghan's absence is reported in comparison to William and Catherine. So here you can see the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Miss Queen Mother's memorial service to continue skiing. So this was quite some time back. But you can see underneath the headline, it says William and Kate will miss Friday's service of Thanksgiving for Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother of Prince Margaret, as they enjoy a skiing holiday. The way that's written, as they enjoy a skiing holiday, no outrage whatsoever. Like, it's just perfectly okay that they're going for a skiing holiday on the taxpayer's dime and missing the Queen Mother's memorial service. And I also believe, do quote me if I'm wrong, because I forgot to get a screenshot of it, but I think William actually missed another service as well. I think sorry, I can't remember which one it was, but I believe he missed another service as well. But you can just see the double standard in how it's reported between the two couples. Yeah, I can't see why Harry and Meghan are suddenly important to everyone when they literally pursued them away from England. Yes, I did hear that Rebel Wilson was making fun of them at the BAFTAs, and I'm glad that she did. And speaking of which, since you brought that up, I think there were people that were quite happy that William wasn't there. As this one lady here stated, I'm inside now, and apparently they've only gone and sat us in what's normally the royal box. If William can be a no-show at more awards, that would be great. BAFTAs 2022. So she got to sit in the royal box because William and Catherine were not there. And I thought this tweet here was quite funny. Somebody said, Prince William, am I the only one who doesn't find the royal family the slightest bit engaging? And well, the number of likes and quote tweets and retweets just let us know that, yes, a lot of people do not find the royals engaging at all. And as I've always said, and I think a lot of people have made mention of this, if it were not for the royal rota, the rodents in the royal rota, the royals would not get organic press. Most of their press is manufactured, just because people are not as interested in them as they want to make it seem like. And that's pretty much the case for every other royal family around the world. For most other countries, the royals, or countries that have royals, the royals are kind of just like background decorations. But the British press, because they're so much ingrained and part of the royal machinery, have to try and push them in our faces and in our consciousness as much as possible. Joseph, ironic that they thirst over someone that was supposed to be persona non grata. Yes, they do. Hidden Beauty, Harry and Meghan are the future. That is why William and Kate represent old-fashioned values and racism. That the world is progressing past that. Absolutely. Yeah, Teresa, they're desperate for clicks. They are hungry. Do you know what? The only way that they're going to make money from the Royal Caribbean We Are Not a Racist Family tours is if something dramatic happens. Like, it has to be like William says, puts his foot in his mouth again. Catherine just mumbles or rolls her eyes should a small child mention Meghan's name. That's the only way they're going to get headlines and clicks. I don't think anybody's going to be really interested or watching this, other than to see if something goes wrong. Or just to see how it all plays out, given everything that's happened so far. Yeah, and Nita, the Cambridge is always looking so sad, no connection between them. Can't wait for the analysis from the body language experts on this Royal Caribbean tour. I'll be given my body language expert analysis on Kate and William's um, interactions on this Rihanna Sarace's family tour. Mary J. No, Jason Lee actually came out and apologized. I don't know if you saw this. I think I mentioned it in another podcast, but they did an article on their Hollywood sites saying this is why we thought the Queen had passed. So he basically came out and retracted the whole thing. But she has been seen in video calls. I believe that she is still alive. She's just not able to stand for very long periods of time, and she's clearly a bit poorly. Oh, your comments about the picture of William. People dragged Rebel Wilson for her humorless jokes about Harry and Meghan in the Oprah interview. One guy said he thought it was a joke. That Rebel hosted the BAFTAs. Ouch. But I don't think Rebel would be coming at Harry and Meghan in a spiteful way. She doesn't seem like she'd be coming across like that. I've never heard her say anything bad about Harry and Meghan, and I feel like she's made fun of all the royals. So yes, Crystal J. I said that Harry and Meghan are irrelevant. Now they realise that William and Kate are the irrelevant ones. Well, they got plenty of lessons to learn. And as we know, the Rihanna Sarace's family tour really is, as the Sunday Times puts it, just a mission to hold on to Jamaica. Not to improve relations with Jamaica, not to, I don't know, give Jamaica more and fairer opportunities for trade, for political alliances. No, it's just to hold on to Jamaica. And as Roya Nika, who we know is one of William's mouthpieces, she did the infamous The Other Brother feature where they had William looking like an SS officer in that strange uniform on the cover. She wrote this saying that William and Kate's visit is being seen as a chance to love bomb a country keen to join Barbados in ditching the monarchy. She goes on to say, Professor Philip Murphy, director of the Institute of the Commonwealth Studies at the University of London, said, Jamaica is the one to watch. The political will is strong, and the issue of reparations for colonialism and slavery adds moral weight to the Republican cause. And do you think that Kate and William are going to say anything about this? Or offer any kind of, I don't know what word I would use, any kind of regrets for history? I don't think so. I mean, they're literally just going on this trip to say, please don't let us go, when clearly the people want to let you go. And what are you even giving them to incentivize them to stay, other than a wave and a few smiles here and there? We know that William likes to give a few smiles here and there. So the article goes on to say, in 2020, Jamaica's governor announced that he would stop wearing the royal insignia of the Order of St. Michael and St. George. So I believe that's the that picture of the, I think it's like a white angel stepping on a black person or something. It shows the white archangel with his foot on the neck of Satan depicted as a black man after it sparked controversy. And it then goes on to say, a meeting and other engagements celebrating Bob Marley. Oh my god, if I see Kate or William singing Bob Marley, I'm just gonna die. And seeing the Jamaican Defence Force in action, the success of their mission may determine whether or not they will reign as King and Queen of Jamaica, which gained independence from Britain in 1962. I mean, what even is the point if they barely even visit these people or offer them anything? I mean, having said that, it's not even like they offer the British public anything. Um, so it then goes on to say the Republican movement in Jamaica is not new. At the start of the Queen's Diamond Jubilee in 2012, the Republican Prime Minister gave her inaugural address with a promise to remove the monarch as head of state. She says, I love the Queen, she's a beautiful lady, but I think the time has come. And there is no question that Jamaica has to become a republic. So yes, all eyes now turn to the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge first visit to Jamaica. And isn't that interesting that this is their first visit? Oh my gosh. They've been working royals for how long? And William and Kate knew that they were going to be the future king and queen consort. But this is the first time that you're visiting in over 10 years of being working royals? The laziness of it all. My goodness. So let me just go back to your comments. Mary G, yes, I did. Still sus on the Queen. No, she's still there. She's just very poorly and unable to stand. She'll do it. No one's going to show up for the I'm Not a Racist tour. You'll be surprised. You'll be very, very surprised. They'll probably pay people if they have to. Hello, Tafine. Good all day. Maybe leaving out all the haters pics will leave a big vacuum. Hidden Beauty. Kate is racing away, vanishing. She looks she has looked this sickly thin for a while. Yeah, but I do think more recently it's very noticeable. Like she's always been very skinny, but now it's like now she's starting to look emaciated. It's actually quite worrying. It wouldn't surprise me if she has some kind of I don't want to say it, but you guys know what I'm gonna say. Because I don't want to speculate about those things, but it's very obvious that she needs help, is all I'm gonna say. Emerald, Barbados said goodbye. Jamaica asking for reparations. So now they know Jamaica will be next. Yeah, of course they do. Roseanne, yeah, love bomb is a word used when an abuser is trying to get their victim back. Exactly. The fact that she would use that word. Oh, these people, they don't even try to hide it, do they? And yes, Andreen, they're also just going to Jamaica for a holiday. Yes, Denise, they just need to cut the roles and become independent. All of the Caribbean nations do. Lily Bell, they're sending Bland and Blander to hold on to Jamaica. The man who doesn't want the black population to expand because it's affecting wildlife. Yeah. I mean, it really is just shameful. Another thing I wanted to mention, something I forgot to mention about Philip's memorial. Do you know who it's going to be interesting to see who does show up? If Penny shows up, you know, Philip's old friend, Penny. Penny has a daughter, by the way, if you didn't know. And do you think she looks like anyone? Do you think that Penny's daughter looks like anyone we know? I found it quite interesting that Penny's daughter actually on her wedding day was walked down the aisle by Charles. So not saying anything about that, but just thought I'd put it out. And I'll let you make of that what you will. Sharon, Jamaica already had the independence and changed their currency. Why did you just cut all ties with the Queen and start sorry, with the Queen still paying severance, just go all the way and go Republic? Yeah. Well, they're gonna hang on for as long as they can. So, you know. Tri-Five Girls, I've only been working roles for 5 years, started in 2017. Really? What? So all of that other time they weren't working roles? Am I missing something? So what were they doing all that other time? I mean, I saw them doing engagements, but what? So what? Were they just part-time working roles or something? Somebody please explain. Um, Hello, if you're just joining us. As an oral, Kate is only suffering from wickedness syndrome. Yeah, that too. Dolores, William and Mumbles will be compared to Prince Harry's loss at Jamaica. No comparison, no. And I hope Usain Bolt doesn't show up, or I'm never buying Nike trainers again. Yeah, Teresa, she's scary thin. No love for her, but I don't like watching a woman waste away and the people around her act as if they don't see it. But it was exactly the same with Diana, wasn't it? They'll let you wither away before they help you, and they won't lose a sleep if you die. Daphne, Jamaica is also independent, but isn't a republic. Trinidad and Tobago gained independence too. The highest award was the foot on the neck, or with the written words mean that the slaves have succumbed. Yeah, it's just time for all of these countries to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. Um, um, Melita, I think KP and Daily Fail are involved in the case against Meghan. I think they're paying her father and sister. This is really bad. They want to shame Meghan. Yes, if you didn't know, Thomas Markle is also now trying to get involved in this case with Samantha Markle. We all know that the Daily Fail wanted a situation where Meghan would have to come to the UK without security. We know now that they wouldn't have given her security, and try to get Thomas Markle on the stand to try and create this show trial. And it would appear that they're trying to do the same thing or something similar with Samantha Markle. And it's just going to fail. Um, it's just interesting how we've seen so much from the Markle side of Meghan's family, and yet Doria's side have been so silent, so classy, and so graceful. Andreen, a pandemic is still in process. Why do Philip need a memorial? That is William's sister that they're trying to. Yeah. Well, I won't comment about the William part, but as far as the memorial, uh, listen, as far as the law goes, mandates have been dropped in the UK, so that's all I can say about that. Oh, Elaine, there were part-time working roles until 2017. Okay. Helene. Oh, hello, Helene. I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. How are you? It's absurd that during these circumstances, they even do a royal tour. I know our king cancelled his state visit to Greece because of the war. Yeah. I mean, for goodness sake, just cancel it. There is no point to any of this. And I do believe that things are going to get really hard for people this year. Again, with the energy costs, rising cost of food inflation, and with war in Ukraine, certain circumstances because of how both Ukraine and Russia supply the world with certain wheats and fertilizers for growing crops, that could have an effect on price inflation as well. So all of that to say, things are going to get harder for people everywhere around the world this year. And to have um, Kate and William, prancing around, or not just Kate and William, just like all of the on royal mafia prancing around the Caribbean, it's just very, again, tone deaf. It's tone deaf to another level. And then when so many people are being displaced also because of the war, so you've got multiple things happening because of this war that are all going to pile up this year. It's just very, very tone deaf. And on that, actually, I did have this. There is a campaign going on in the UK at the moment where the government is trying to encourage UK citizens to take in Ukrainians for I think it's £350 a month, which is absolutely nothing if you think about it. Because of all of the rise in living costs and in national insurance and taxes, that £350 is just going to get eaten up. And in my opinion, I mean, I have no issue with the average person if they want to offer their home to a refugee. That's very, very thoughtful. But £350, if that's all the money that the government are offering to the average person to take in a family, I see that as a slap in the face, because there's no way £350 is going to cover it. And why not give that responsibility to the most wealthy? There are 300 plus. Can somebody look up how many rooms there are in Buckingham Palace alone? How many families would you be able to put in Buckingham Palace alone, let alone all the other palaces, let alone all of the unoccupied houses that are owned by aristocratic families, let alone all these celebrities that have second homes? And many of those celebrities were in a advert calling for the British people to open up their homes. And again, I have no issue with anybody wanting to open up their homes. I think that's very, very thoughtful. But why isn't it these rich, powerful, very resourceful, with a hell of a lot more money than the average person? Why aren't they doing it first? That's my question. And I don't think that's an unreasonable question or request to say that it should be the most privileged to take on that burden. But especially when those rich and privileged people are getting benefits like the royal family from the British taxpayer. But kudos to anyone who is going to open up their home to a refugee. That is very thoughtful, especially at a time when so many people are struggling. Miss P talks, they will use the same bot because he's Jamaica's biggest celebrity. Well, I hope that he is smart enough not to allow himself to be used. That's what I hope. Odessa, Kate needs Harry to send her a to-go box from Melba's. Oh, I'm so grateful that you mentioned Melba's, because yes, I did actually have a slide about Melba's, funnily enough. Congratulations to Melba's. The impact of Harry and Meghan continues. They are now going to be coming to Broad Street in New York. So this looks like they're expanding their establishment. So well done to Melba's. They've just gone from strength to strength since Harry and Meghan came along and helped them and their staff. They worked very, very hard to keep themselves open during the pandemic. And they've been rewarded very well and very thoughtful of Harry and Meghan. We know that they ate there while they were in New York. So well done to Melba's. Oh, hello, Beverly. Thank you for coming to the podcast. Oh, so, okay, William and Kate were half in, half out the first 5 years. Good enough for them, but not enough for Harry and Meghan, exactly. So they were half in, half out for the first 5 years, and yet in the first 2 years of Harry and Meghan being working royals, they did more than the other two did in the 10 years that Kate has been in the family. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Joseph, be prepared to be underwhelmed when the traveling dumpster fire arrives in Jamaica. Oh, I have my hopes high, actually, Joseph. I have my hopes high for all of the drama because we know what's coming. Because William just can't watch what he says. Surely, the continuous smear campaign against Meghan and by default her husband is making the monarchy and the British tabloids look real bad globally. This is the fallout on Kate and William. Yes, and the tide has definitely turned. I can feel it now. The hatred against Meghan is not having the same hit as it used to. I don't know if you all have noticed it, but I definitely have being here in the UK. It's not having the same hit as it used to at all. Hi, Facts and Two Cents. How are you? How are you? How are you? Teresa, I read that Philip left a huge amount of money to staff members who helped him as he was getting older and sick. I wonder if any other royals could appreciate their staff like that. That's a good question. I mean, they don't really pay their staff too well. I'm wondering if he actually left that money because he cared about them or because he wants them to shut up about his secrets. Maybe that's why. Hmm, something to think about. Oh, 770 rooms in Buckingham Palace. Well, more than enough rooms for families, right? More than enough rooms. J Law. Oh, by the way, I do believe that they are thinking about finally opening up Buckingham Palace for public viewing after the Queen passes. So there you go. J Law, they really need a big hitter like Ronan Farrow to look into the links between the royal family, British media trolls, and Muggles and see the rat scatter. Well, J Law, there has there have been rumblings about Ronan Farrow writing something, maybe allegedly, perhaps we don't know. And the reason for this was there was some time ago when a squaddy wrote a very detailed thread about the abuse towards Meghan. It was very, very detailed. Like it might as well have just been an essay. It went on for quite a few tweets. But if I remember correctly, I think that Ronan actually liked that thread and started following her. And so people started speculating as to whether or not he was working on something about the royal family. Now that was some time ago and nothing has materialized. So who knows? But these type of stories, they can take a couple of years to put together, like the Harvey Weinstein story. So I'm holding out hope for Ronan Farrow. I am. Because if anybody's going to do it, um, it's got, yeah, it does have to be someone like him. So either him or there was the other lady, the one that did the 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 socialite story, you know, the one that the new Netflix series Inventing Anna is based on, like a really big heavy hitter, like one of those two. Hello Anna, thanks for joining us. Edward's home has 120 rooms. What? And it's just him, Sophie, and the kid. Don't they only have like? Don't they only have one kid? I've only ever seen the daughter. Effie, the criticism will be about housing the indigenous. I'm assuming you mean indigenous and homeless in Britain. Yeah, because housing is already quite an issue right now, and so is homelessness. Yeah, sure. The amount of abandoned mansions in the UK is astounding because a lot of the people that buy mansions here buy them as assets, not to actually live in them, especially the very expensive big houses. And there are also a lot of aristocratic families that just have houses because they're part of their estate. No one's actually living in them. Mm. Oh, you're going to Melbourne in August. That's amazing. Please do send me some chicken in the post because I really wanna taste the Melbas. Oh my gosh, if they open in the UK, I will be the first person in line. I'll make a whole vlog about it. Helene, we have a family in our street, one family offering their B&B, but we will help financially with a weekly donation so they can stay for a longer period of time. That's very nice of you, Helene. Um, and there's something I just thought about. So it's been said that this whole thing where Catherine had made some comments about feeling broody. Um, some people think that's like a soft way of them leading into some kind of possible pregnancy announcement, or that they might have another child. I don't know what to make of that, but it is an interesting theory because otherwise, I don't think it's something that. I mean, is that something that Kate would just come out and say? It would definitely be a great distraction if they did have another child, but it would come across as very hypocritical given William's comments about having too many babies. Um, Oh, thank you so much, Facts and Two Cents. Oh, I appreciate you listening so much. I love your podcast too as well. I actually have to watch some of your replays. I put them all in everybody's podcast or Squaddy podcast, so I haven't watched yet. I put them all in a line. And there's a couple I haven't gotten around to yet, but I love you too as well. Chill, Melbourne is a soothing place after a bad shift. Oh, it's good to know. Well, the head matron at Melba's looks like the funnest person ever. I mean, just look at her smile, the way it radiates. Okay, moving on slightly to something else. We all know that there have been several attempts to slander Meghan's name via paying people who used to know her before she married into the Unroyal Mafia. And one of those people was a guy named Simon Rex. And he gave an interview recently to The Guardian talking about when a UK tabloid offered him 70,000 to claim that he had slept with Meghan, whom he appeared with in a 2005 episode of the sitcom Cuts. He at the time stated that their off-screen interactions never got further than one platonic lunch. He said he was broke as F. He said that he really needed the money, but he said that I'll be on food stamps before I do that. Meghan wrote him a letter and said, thank you. She said, it's nice to know that there are still good people, and he has it framed in his home out in Joshua Tree. I think that is absolutely lovely. And look at how good God is, because Simon Rex just last week won an Independent Spirit Awards. He's on a comeback. His recent movie has been getting a lot of good press and good reviews. So kindness pays. And pretty much everybody who has shown Harry and Meghan kindness, who stood up for them when it wasn't popular to stand up for them, is being rewarded in some way. And it's the haters who are getting the comeuppance, because karma is slow, but she always comes knocking eventually. So shout out to Simon Rex. And I hope he just goes from strength to strength. And it's just good to know that good things happened to good people. And there have been several stories like this. And it did actually make me think of this, a slightly different story. Somebody else who had also worked with Meghan and who didn't approach the situation as nicely. So this was Meghan's first on-screen co-star where she played someone's husband, and he said she was, quote, very into it in intimate bedroom scenes. And this was an interview with the Daily Fail, and the guy went on to say, sometimes you don't jive with every actor or actress you work with, but with her it was very seamless. He said she was very into it, very giving. It wasn't a hard sell for me at all. we had some pretty intense scenes. I think we did a pretty good job. He also said she was very accommodating, which is what you want when you're in intimate quarters in the bedroom doing what TV husbands and wives do. And I just think it's just so tacky. I mean, he doesn't go as far as saying that, anything happened between them, but I just find it very, very tacky. The way he put that across. Um, yes, Deborah, the reason why Harry and Meghan are not having the same hit is because US media and important people are changing the narrative. Yep. The Oprah interview was definitely a turning point. Let's see. Yes, Girl Pink, they overplayed the hate campaign whilst Meghan stays silent, hence why the tide is changing. Because all Harry and Meghan do is mind their business, and all Kate and William do is is fumble and mumble. Yes, Deborah. Bill and Kathy's actions are speaking for themselves, and so are Harry and Meghan's in a positive way. Oh, Roseanne, Edward and Sophie have 2 children. Okay, so 170 rooms. Take away Edward and Sophie's bedrooms. Take away the children's bedrooms. 170 minus 4. Someone do the math. There's plenty of room for extra families in that house. That's in sense. There are 1,000 rooms at Windsor Palace. Wow. The royals can do more than this. There's also St. James Palace. Oh, hello, Edith. How are you, darling? Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, that was that. And it is, it's not the first time. There have been several people that have come out and said that they were approached. There was a psychologist actually that came out and said that she was approached to give an analysis on Meghan, and I guess they couldn't really get anyone with any decent credentials because who would want to ruin their entire psychology career like that? And so I guess that's why they started going for these body language experts that get their qualifications from Groupon. So yeah, there wasn't anything else that I think I wanted to mention. There was just one story that came out of the UK that just made my eyes roll. Sorry for anyone sensitive to animal cruelty. Boris Johnson ditches pledge to ban big game hunters from bringing trophies home. I just find this so disgusting, and for reasons obvious. But if you all didn't know, Obama, when he was president, actually made a pledge and banned game hunters from bringing back trophies, or banned American hunters from bringing back trophies when they went hunting in Africa. And when Trump came in, he actually reversed that. Now, one of the things that hunters will claim is that hunting is part of conservation. I personally just think that this is a lie that they say over and over again, hoping it becomes the truth. There are many ways of managing wildlife, and there's no reason why local people who are qualified to work with these animals can't manage the ecosystem by themselves. And lions, in fact, are now considered an endangered animal. So there's literally no reason to hunt them. So yeah, that's Boris Johnson. This is what he decides to do. Well, there's so many other things to do. Give his Tory friends and Westerners that want to go shoot animals in Africa, shoot our beautiful wildlife, they can bring back their big trophies. Priorities. So that was that. Let's put a much nicer picture. And we'll finish up with your lovely comments. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming as always. Hope you have a lovely week. Roseanne, they are talking about pregnancy to distract from possible separation rumors. It's classic denial to the public. Yeah. Let's bring in a baby. Sure, Stewart, there are some cool wheelchairs out there. The things teenagers can do with them. Yeah, like it's not a shameful thing at all to be in a wheelchair. Mm. Sarah, I wish Jamaicans will ask some questions about Harry, Meghan, and the kids just to shame these racist people. I hope someone pulls something out of the bag, or there's some protest or something. Mm. Marsha, Simon Rex is more of a prince than William and Charles. That's why Simon is blessed. Yes. Good on him. Getting awards now. And now people in Hollywood are going to know that he's somebody who's trustworthy. And that's what you need to be to survive in this industry. Now people are going to look at him so much better than they would have had he had lied. And just also, even if it had been true, what is it anyone's business, or why is it scandalous what a grown woman decides to do with a grown man? It would only have been a scandal because they would have wanted to use that to dirty her name. And there's actually nothing particularly scandalous about it, even if it had been true, and we know that it wasn't. Cookies and cream, they'll definitely reap exactly what they sowed. They're allowing innocent children to be abused with hateful foolishness. They're mocking the loss of the sausage baby. Yeah, it's just so cruel and vile. So cruel and vile. Melita, so insulting. The way they wrote that article is so insulting. Which article was it? The wheelchair one or the Jamaican one? They're both pretty insulting. Yes, Avery. Unfortunately, the British media's job is to encourage division and hatred. I mean, our media is basically controlled by Rothermere and Murdoch, and I don't know. I've been a skeptic or skeptical thinker pretty much from the time I was 14, 15. I feel like that was the time which I began to unplug from the matrix, shall we say. So I've always made it my business to know or to try and know, um who is in control of the information that I'm fed. And I've never understood why more people don't make it their business to know that. I've never understood why is it that people are just so um why there is just this easy assumption that everything that the media puts out, surely it must be true. Well, how do you know it's true? Like, I mean, come on, you've never picked up a history book. I know a hell of a lot of you probably, sorry, a hell of a lot of people probably read George Orwell's 1984, or you've been presented in some way with some information that lets you know not to believe everything you read and hear. So it was quite a shock to my system, and I think a lot of people, to see how much, not just how much hatred that Meghan was getting, but that so many people were eating it up and believing it. And that was a huge wake up call for me. And nobody should ever have to go through what Harry and Meghan went through, but they've come out of it a lot stronger. And I think it's also woken a lot of people up to that invisible contract, that endless revolving door between the press, the royal family, and also the government. Roseanne, they only use a few rooms because the rest of them are haunted. Yeah, probably. haunted with staff members that never got paid properly. Elect lady, isn't Buckingham Palace being renovated? Yes, it is, to the tune of about, what, 300 million at the taxpayers' expense? Yes, it is being renovated. Yes, Tashmak, I feel like the Daily Mail tried to paint that interaction in a more negative way than it actually was, but his words were pretty telling, to be honest. I feel like he played into it. Oh, Jet Aviation, my thoughts on Meghan's father launching a YouTube channel. My thoughts are that I won't be watching it or paying attention or giving him clicks. I mean, he's gonna try and get that channel monetized. I won't be watching it, and I definitely won't be reporting on it, and I don't encourage anyone else to either. I really don't, because he's basically harassing his child online. Yeah, Groupon. You can get a body language expert qualification on Groupon. It's just so sad. Hi, Bear Bear. You're never late, hon. You can always watch a replay. Yeah, Joanne, that fool would have been the lion's dinner. He wouldn't have been able to run. I swear, do you know, they always look like this? All of these hunter types, they all look like that. All of them. They all look weird. Like they've never had a girlfriend and probably shouldn't have one. They look like they'd be a nightmare to be with. Imagine actually getting a pleasure or enjoyment from shooting such a majestic animal. Yeah, Lynn, Trump brought it back. It's a joke. Oh, is Ivy in the house? Hello. Hello, Ivy. Hi, Sunset Global. Hi. No problem at all. Okay, I thought. Margaret Jones. Yeah, I thought William said population was a problem with conservation in Africa. Looks like it's trophy hunters to me, exactly. But he'll say nothing about the trophy hunters because some of them are probably his friends. Yes, facts and 2 cents. I want Jamaicans to rise up and protest this tour also. The Invictus game. Some people are really going to lose their minds. Can't wait to see it. If you suffer from blood pressure, please stock up on medication now. There may be a shortage in the coming months. We don't want anyone popping a vein. Please get your blood pressure tablets now. Make your beetroot smoothies to control that. Okay, I think I'm gonna scroll all the way down. Sorry if I missed any of your comments. And give someone the last word. Mad wisdom. Are people sheep? Yes, critical thinking has been drummed out of our school systems. Yeah, when I was in school, we had this thing called citizenship. It was I think that it was their attempt to, teach children how to do like taxes and life skills and stuff like that. But what we really needed was critical thinking. But the schooling system isn't for that, is it? It's just to make everyone think the same way. Marsha, when Murdoch goes, who's next in line? And are they just as bad as him? That is a very good question. That is a very good question. The fact that he would give Piss Moron space, space in his little empire, because doesn't Piss Moron have? Well, he's got his column in the Sun, but I think he also has some television show or something coming up. Maybe Piss Moron is going to be his is going to be the new king of the empire in waiting, and he still also has a very good relationship with Rebecca Brooks. So let's see how this court case if Harry goes. But I wouldn't be surprised if he handed over the keys to someone like Piers Morgan. I wouldn't be surprised at all. There's got to be someone he's going to give the keys over to, or at least a group of people that share his sentiments. Vinny Blair, I cannot wrap my head around the royal family's continued association and support of this contract with the media, especially the fail. Well, they have no choice, because if the media don't write about them, literally they will just fade into the background. There's no way that they would make the front covers of the newspapers, because there's nothing about them that's particularly interesting enough to make the front covers. And they definitely don't shift as many covers as, say, Harry and Meghan do. So yeah, Denise. So what if Meghan had a relationship with someone? Was she supposed to be a nun? Exactly. But you know what it is? As a woman of color, even just as even just a small little peck on the cheek dirties you, because you're not the delicate, perfect, virginal English rose, and that's what it is. Anything to try and paint her in such a way. Even though what a woman does in her own time is her own damn business, and it didn't happen anyway. So, but yeah, very good point. Was she supposed to be a nun? And it's just holding her to an impossible holding Meghan to an impossible standard that literally no one else in that family could meet. I mean, Camilla was literally a mistress. So we're gonna clutch our pearls because Meghan may have had other relationships before Harry. Like, come on, please. Helene, we don't have a press pool like that in the Netherlands, so the royals here have a very critical press, and rightly so. That's great to hear. It's how it should be. It should be fair and balanced. No one's saying that the press have to hate on them or go after them. We're definitely not saying that. But they shouldn't suck up to them either. It should be balanced. Yeah, Deborah, the endless revolving door is smacking the royals in the face. It's like watching a slapstick comedy. Oh, thank you so much, Roseanne. Yes, hit the like button to boost the channel, please. Yes, please. No one. I'm begging everybody from the squad. Do not give that awful family any clicks. Oh, by the way, if you're on Twitter, Anne Boleyn took a hit for everyone, and she actually read Samantha Markle's book. So if you want to actually know, because I know some people in the squad do, what Samantha Markle had to say, go on her Twitter feed, and she did a whole thread. Some of it was actually quite hilarious, and worth reading just for the giggles. But please do not consume any of the Markle's content or read their books, or anything to do with them. There are people in the squad who are doing that for you, but I can't say that I will be one of those people. Sorry. Yes, Melita, I think that the royal family is involved in working with the hate channels too. And isn't it just strange that this is all just kind of happening at the same time? And right on the anniversary of the Oprah interview and right before Invictus Games. These people just don't want to leave Harry and Meghan alone. Thank you so much, everyone, for your positive comments. Thank you so much, Sussex Global UK. Really do appreciate you all. Facts and 2 cents. I think Murdoch's son runs his empire. Didn't one of his sons do a runner though? Yeah, one of them run. Okay, so does he have another son? Okay. So I didn't know that he had another son. So I'm assuming the son that didn't run away, uh, he will take it over, I guess. All right, I think I'm gonna give someone the final word. Let's wrap it up. I have the most delicious organic vegan red velvet cake that I'm desperate to eat. So, Helene, does anyone know where Vice is doing a documentary on Meghan? Christ. What does Vice, who I dislike, by the way, what did they have to say about Meghan? Don't they usually do documentaries about like gangsters and stuff? Jesus. Okay, Helene, you can watch it and you can review it for us, please. 'Cause I won't be watching anything that Vice produces. Uh, okay, who's gonna get the last word? Um, who's gonna get the last word? Yeah, not Vice, not the Vice. Uh, and let's not forget, everyone, that Harry's book is still coming. Harry's book is still coming. I'm gonna have to be first at the bookstore that morning and try and get through at least half the book. Um, who's gonna get the last word? Okay, Ty Fletcher, I'll give you the last word. Down with the Royals, up with the Sussexes. Have a wonderful day, squaddies. Amen. And with that, thank you so much for the donation earlier. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you all. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. And if anything happens, I guess I will see you tomorrow. Bye.